Hey! I have created this pretty cool new model called Path to Joy. I have modeled out and mapped out a way from suffering to joy. And in this video, I will explain to you how it works. You can think where you are in this path. And I'm going to share all kinds of interesting information with you. My name is Kaisa Koskinen. I'm a transformational coach, and path from suffering to joy has been also my personal journey. I have walked myself from severe feeling of suffering into inner joy, where I'm at this time. I want to explain this model to you. I'm hoping it will help you to map out in what stage you are in your personal development at this time. And hopefully you will gain perspective also about the whole path we are all going through on this planet Earth as humans, as spiritual beings. So here we go. Here's the model that I've created. It has different stages, different steps. I want to start from the stage of suffering. In a suffering phase, one lives and acts out of fear. One blames circumstances and others of their misery. One doesn't take responsibility of their own actions. And there's a constant search for things to become happier. This can mean shopping, this can mean eating, this can be anything. So there's that inner search, inner desire. One knows that they are imbalanced, so they want to feel better and feel happier. So they do whatever that needs to become reality. And there's also a strong once I'm there goal orientation. So whatever goal you set in that stage, it doesn't really feel awesome to get there, because there's always more. There's always more goals, always more to go. So one doesn't really become happy, no matter what they do, or no matter what they buy, or no matter how much they eat. But then, because this is a beautiful journey, path to joy, once there's enough suffering, one starts to have this inner desire to get out from that suffering. And then they shift into mind phase, into mind bubble, as I call it. In mind phase, one wants to understand their own behavior. One wants to understand how the mind operates. They want to start to change their mindsets and beliefs, because they start to understand that that's what's limiting them. One starts to take responsibility of self, and motivational factors also change in this phase. You start to understand how you actually get motivated and what are those true inner desires that you have. And you start fine-tuning what you actually want from your life. And in mind phase, in mind bubble, one uses mind as a tool, starts to understand that actually mind is a pretty cool tool that you can work with, and you can change and shift things in it. But once the mind bubble, the mind phase has been walked through long enough, there comes again this inner desire, this beautiful guidance. One wants to start understanding life and oneself in a deeper way. This is how I shifted out from NLP. So with NLP in a mind phase, I was doing a lot of NLP. If you never heard of it, it's neuro-linguistic programming, and it's programming for the mind. And it helped me I walked myself through the mind phase with help of NLP. So it was an awesome tool for that. But then once I have walked myself long enough through my mind and have had changed enough beliefs and mindsets in me, I realized that I'm more than my mind. There's more in me than just my mind. And then I started to have this desire to understand, why am I here? What am I doing here? What is this place? What is Earth? What is the universe? And I started to open up to spirituality more. Like there was just like enough opening for that. And in a spiritual phase, and as I call it, spiritual bubble, one starts to understand the difference between mind and spirit. They open up spiritually and want to learn more about energy, life, and universe. They seek for deeper answers, bigger answers than mind can ever give. And many of the times, answers that mind cannot even understand. So it's like an intuitive process to go through spiritual phase. In this phase, in spiritual bubble, in the end of it, what I gained was inner peace. So that, how could I explain it? It was like this deep sense of end of suffering in a way, end of believing into my mind and all the thoughts that it was creating. And this deep inner peace just like took me over in a way. And obviously in every stage you still, everything what you gained in the past is going to be with you for good. So once you do the job well in mind phase and in spiritual phase, you will have the benefits forever. So that's also one motivational factor to do the work in a proper and deep enough way. So then, when the spiritual bubble, in my case, bursted after the awakening, in 2017, in December, I became awake. And then this deep desire to live from my core being arose. So I wanted to live from a place what is inside of me that is filled with joy. And I wanted to become as authentic that I can. And there was no other option. So I shifted into joy. Joy phase, joy bubble. There you understand mind and spirit. So you can, I can talk about the mind stuff. I can talk about the spiritual stuff. So you can kind of like bounce back and forth. And you can also see how they are connected. You have much less conditioning, biases, and judgment towards yourself and towards others. You feel way lighter than ever before, and there's constant joy coming into surface in your everyday life. And in all the other previous stages, obviously in suffering, in mind phase, and in spiritual phase, there was always this desire to do things for you. So I did all the work that I did for myself. I wanted to be better, get better, feel better. And then when I shifted in the joy phase, it changed. I don't care that much anymore about myself. I just want to serve the collective. So instead of there being me, there's actually us and we. So that's my experience so far. I know there's more to go. So that's why there's a question mark in the top of this model. I have had some glimpses that it's love. The next stage is love. But I'm not there yet, and I don't know what is the desire that is going to shift me there, and I don't know how it is in there. So I'm just letting you know that there's always more to go. We always go deeper and deeper. But just to let you know that you know, I'm not just like you know, I'm not like, this is not the end of the journey. But I'm able to guide you through all these previous steps, all these previous bubbles or stages or phases, because that's what I've been through. And I know what happens there, and I know how I got myself out of the different stages, and what needed to be worked on different stages. So that's how I'm serving you from now on. So in every step, you feel lighter, you feel calmer, and life seems to flow more easier and easier. And just to give you heads up, because obviously we would love to jump from suffering to joy. But I'm telling you, you don't want to do that. Because, for example, I lived in Mother Alma's ashram for a couple of months, for I don't know how long, I've lost track of time, but anyway, some time ago, I was there for a while, and I met a lot of people who were like super spiritual, but really unbalanced. And it kind of like, you know, I was wondering for a while, like, why? Like, these people are super spiritual, they live here in the ashram. Aren't they supposed to be like super joyful, just being like feel the presence of universal love all the time? Why are they so fucked up? And then when this model came through me, this path to joy model, I realized that they had not worked through the mind. So they kind of like jumped straight from suffering into spirituality. Because spirituality, and I see this all the time, even here in Finland, and obviously, you know, when I travel all over the world, I see how some people suffer so much that they go hiding into spirituality. Because once you just jump straight from suffering into spirituality, you kind of like put all your problems under the mat. You're just like, okay, they're not there. I don't have to deal with them. I'm just a spiritual person. And, you know, I just do my spiritual, whatever, you know, people do. Different people do different things. And they don't deal with the mind stuff. And that's how they become spiritual cuckoos. And you don't want to be a spiritual cuckoo. So you want to go through each stage, take the time. And I'm telling you, this will take you years. My system, and I'm not, you know, I'm not there anymore where I need to brag about anything, but I'm telling you, it took me a long time to get this. Well, a long time, but I could say like intense work of 5 years, and I mean like 24/7 work for 5 years. I know in a bigger perspective, some people are gonna be in a suffering phase their whole life in this lifetime. Some are gonna be in mind phase their whole lifetime, or even multiple lifetimes. So it's also a matter of how ripe you were for this kind of shifts to happen when you entered this incarnation. And for those people who are still in the suffering and mind phase, this might sound too much, but, you know, obviously I need to talk from my truth. So, you know, we do come here many thousands and thousands of times. So in every incarnation, we kind of like take ourselves deeper. So it just happened to be that in this lifetime, I was ripe enough to do these stages in a really fast, like in a motor highway or bullet train track I took. So give yourself time. That's what I'm saying. I haven't seen many people who have done through any of these stages in like 2 months or in a couple of months. It usually does take years, or 5, 10, 20 years. So be patient. But at the same time, I'm letting you know that, for example, with my help, if you want to come to my coaching, or watch my free material, the videos and bloggings and all these things that I'm about to do around this path to joy model, you will be shifting way faster. I have used a lot of coaches and a lot of help on my path, and that's how I've been able to shift in a pretty fast way. So that's it. I have something fun for you in the end. I'm already almost 15 minutes I have talked almost 15 minutes, but this is my joy bubble. I'm sending you joy bubble love here. Look. No, that didn't work. Let's try another one. Joy bubbles. Beautiful. Have an awesome day, and comment and send me an email. I have a 30-minute free coaching. I'm here to help you serving the collective, which you are part of. I would love to hear from you. What did you think about this model? Where are you? And how can I help you at this time? All right, beautiful. Have an awesome day. Beautiful day.